1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Julmin Samarasinghe and read by Soundithavam. Another 74 corona-infected persons identified. 167 arrested for violating the quarantine curfew. 2.3 billion rupees allocated for development activities related to rivers. Considering of the petition filed by Mr. Riyaj Badiuddin will take place next Tuesday. In foreign news, reports say Japan is to release Fukushima's contaminated water into the sea. And in sports, it's cricket. England invited to play a limited overs tour of Pakistan in 2021. 74 COVID-infected persons have been identified in the country by this morning. The National Operations Centre to prevent the spread of COVID-19 says that 6 of them were under quarantine after coming from overseas. The other 68 are contacts of the Minuwangoda government factory employees. There were 1,791 infected persons in the Minuwangoda COVID cluster by this morning. 1,041 of them are employees of the factory and the other 750 are their associates. Trade stalls and pharmacies in areas where there is quarantine curfew will be open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. today. The public should follow health guidelines when visiting them to obtain services. DIG Ajit Rohan has said that 167 persons have been arrested for violating the quarantine curfew. 25 individuals have been arrested from 19 police divisions where there was curfew during the last 24 hours. He requested the public to support the security and health authorities by following the quarantine curfew regulations. The Minister of Environment, Mahinda Amaraveera, says that 2.3 billion rupees will be spent on development activities related to 103 rivers. The Minister said that a special project has been planned to conserve the river system, which provides water for drinking, farming and other necessities. He pointed out that the rivers are polluted due to polluted water being discharged to rivers by the nearby factories. He said that there are 7,000 factories near the Kalani River from Kaduwela to the Paliagoda Bridge and only 3,000 have obtained environmental reports. Mr. Amaraveera said that the river system is being destroyed as some officials are not performing their duties and are engaged in various corrupt activities. The minister said President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed him to expedite the river development program. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The appeals court is ordered to consider the petition filed by Mr. Riyaj Badiuddin on the 20th of this month, requesting for an order preventing him being arrested for the Easter Sunday attacks. The order was given when the petition was taken up today before Justices Mahinda Samyavadana and Arjuna Obesekara. The judge bench also ordered to send notices to the relevant respondents. Mr. Riyaj Badiuddin has submitted the writs petition to the appeals court seeking an order preventing him being arrested. Meanwhile, an intervening petition has been filed in the appeals court requesting to set aside the writs petition filed by Mr. Badiuddin without being heard. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
The chairman of Lanka Satosa, Nushad Pereira, says that the price of essential goods at private trade stalls will also come down to the level of Satosa prices by next week. He said that a kilogram of big onions can be bought for 100 rupees, and a tin of canned fish for 200 rupees, and a kilogram of sugar for 85 rupees since the 14th of this month. He told the SLBC that the government has implemented a food safety policy and a buffer stock of food would be maintained. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhaleba.
In Watchlight, people in the area say that timber racketeers are destroying the Samasara Mountain Forest Reserve situated in the Aranayaka Divisional Secretariat area. The people request forest rangers and the Aranayaka police to take action to protect the forest reserve, which came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. Reports say Japan is to release Fukushima's contaminated water into the sea. President Trump and his challenger Joe Biden deflect key questions. And Bollywood star Sanjay Dutt confirms he has cancer. Nearly a decade after the Fukushima nuclear disaster, Japan's government has decided to release contaminated water from the destroyed plant into the sea, media reports said today, with a formal announcement expected to be made later this month. The disposal of contaminated water at the Fukushima Daiichi plant has been a long-standing problem for Japan as it proceeds with the decades-long decommissioning project. More than 1 million tons of contaminated water is currently being stored in huge tanks at the facility. US President Donald Trump and his Democratic challenger Joe Biden have batted away key questions during dueling Meet the Voter TV events. Mr. Trump, a Republican, declined to disavow a bizarre online conspiracy, while Mr. Biden, a Democrat, would not divulge plans for the Supreme Court. Both candidates were on the defensive at times on their records. Mr. Trump for a range of issues and Mr. Biden on race. Opinion polls indicate Mr. Biden has a solid lead over Mr. Trump. However, polling is still very close in several key states, which could decide the election. Bollywood star Sanjay Dutt has confirmed he has cancer after weeks of speculation by the Indian press. The 61-year-old actor of more than 150 films said he would beat the disease soon. Dutt also said he would begin shooting for his next film in November. In August, Dutt was tested for COVID-19 after he reported some difficulty in breathing and he tested negative. Amid unconfirmed media reports that he has been diagnosed with lung cancer, Dutt said in August that he was taking a short break from work for medical treatment. Back to the headlines of the world news. Reports say Japan is to release Fukushima's contaminated water into the sea. President Trump and his challenger Joe Biden deflect key questions. And Bollywood star Sanjay Dutt confirms he has cancer. And that concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by...
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the two of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Several irrigation projects are being implemented in the southern province. The Southern Province Irrigation Department is spending 4 million rupees on the projects. The projects will provide water continuously for farming in the province. That came to you in our segment of development news.
When Tati bought a new family car, it wasn't just for the four of us.
It's a 10-seater van. Enough for friends and relatives too.
Mummy insisted on building an extra room in our new house. Well, you never know who'll come to stay. We need more pillows too.
When I was studying late, Nangi would come by to help.
No, I don't know physics, but I do know you need a Munchie Super Cream Cracker.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others.
When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves.
Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Sports News is brought to you by
Munchie Chocolate Cream Biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Cricket first and then motorsport. England has been invited to take part in a short limited overs tour of Pakistan in early 2021. England have not played in Pakistan since 2005 and their next trip is due in 2022. Pakistan did not host Test cricket for 10 years following an attack by gunmen on the Sri Lankan team in 2009. The England and Wales Cricket Board said it will liaise with the Pakistan Cricket Board and a final decision will be taken in due course. On to motorsport, Valentino Rossi says he has tested positive for coronavirus and expects to miss the next two races of the MotoGP season. The 41-year-old Italian is a 9-time world champion and 13th in this season's standings. The next race will be in Aragon, Spain on Sunday, with another race at the same venue a week later. That's sports news, business news up next.
Hey guys, we've got our very own Queen Bear here to review something for us.
Okay, here we go. It's the right amount of crunch and OMG, so much chocolate. The texture is so good. It's creamy and velvety and just so much chocolate. The packaging is super cool and new and there's like so much chocolate. And OMG, the taste, it tastes like so good and there's so much chocolate. Like with every bite. 10 out of 10 for me.
Munchie Chocolate Cream Biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Cuisine Gastronomy, a global brand of premium meals by Sri Lankan Catering, is set to be launched both here and abroad, catering to Sri Lankans in the country and overseas. Initially, a mix of both Sri Lankan and international meals will be launched in Sri Lanka, and following this, the brand will be taken overseas to countries with Sri Lankan diaspora. That's business news. We look at economic news next.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The wait is over and it's time for you to experience happiness. It's time to remap the graph for success. It's time to rebuild your empire. It's time to initiate your entrepreneur dreams. Empower your dreams with NSV Wings. Get your 2-year personal loan for just 7% per annum, starting from 500,000 rupees to 10 million rupees. All you need is just one guarantee. NSV Wings. Recharge the high goals.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The Sri Lanka Export Development Board is providing facilities to ensure that the operations of non-BOI export industries located in curfew areas function without interruptions, subject to the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health. The EDB is providing recommendations to enable export companies which are located in curfew-imposed areas to obtain curfew passes from the respective police stations so that employees who reside outside the curfew areas can engage in work in their factories. That's economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th stage begins. 40% discount for selected goods from 12th to 25th of October. Visit CIB today.
The Met Department says the prevailing showery and windy condition over the southwestern part of the island is expected to reduce during the next few days. Showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabragamo and central provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. Strong gusty winds about 60 kilometers per hour can be expected across the island, particularly in the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces, Trincomalee and Hamathara districts, and in the western slopes of the central hills.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th stage begins. 40% discount for selected goods from 12th to 25th of October. Visit CIB today.
To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. Another 74 corona-infected persons identified. 167 arrested for violating the quarantine curfew. 2.3 billion rupees allocated for development activities related to rivers. Considering of the petition filed by Mr. Riyaj Badiuddin will take place next Tuesday. Reports say Japan is to release Fukushima's contaminated water into the sea. And England invited to play a limited overs tour of Pakistan in 2021.